Hello, it's Martin Gummery again from New Leaf International. We specialise in large change, transformational change programs and business improvement programs. And sometimes we work on the softer stuff. And one of the softer things that we work on is encouraging people in the workforce, whether it's at senior level, middle level, or a more junior position, that they have the power to help, support and implement improvements and change. And one of the first things that we're likely to say is there are four types of power in an organisation. There's positional power, and this is fairly obvious, but it comes from, let's say, we look at an organisation chart, and the person or people higher in the organisation chart have positional power. Their influence in decision making and instructing is driven by the position that they have. The second one there, expert power, and we'll see this in various different areas, and of course the expertise that people bring is very important. IT, accountancy, various different specialities. With those specialities, expert power comes with it, and of course this is a great strength when it's put to good use, but also there's a danger that it can be seen and used as a barrier. Yes, you can't do that because maybe we won't be able to do this. And often people are confronted with this expert power, like positional power, and feel that they can't do anything about it. Invisible power, I'll go back to the other one in a minute. Invisible power is something that's very difficult to articulate and define, but it's that sort of magic that some people have with each other that others just don't. And you can't use that, let's call it charisma, you can't use that in a structured, constructive way. It just happens or it doesn't happen, and it's part of somebody's makeup that makes them that person. The important one, and the thing that I want to just focus on, is we all have personal power. Just by being somebody on this planet, in this organisation, working in this department, whatever the situation you find yourself in, you have a certain level of personal power that you can exploit. And there are examples of people coming from various different backgrounds and different experiences, different educational journeys, and they become very powerful people because they rise above what is met as a standard for them, and they excel. And everybody, regardless of where they are in the organisation, what expert skills they might have, what charisma they may have with some and not with others, we all have this importance of our own personal power. And that is important in an organisation going through transformational change, and it's something that we promote. And then the next slide, in a fairly comical way, there's just some tips on maximising that personal power. So I've called it how to flex your personal power. And I'll just quickly go through these. The first thing to do is, and it's often said in psychology and other discussions, is that if you want to see change in others, you need to change yourself. So the first thing is to assume responsibility. You can do things. Don't blame others. Don't look at the people in positional power who are holding you back, but of course, always be respectful. And don't look at people who have expertise and experience, but they don't have the vision and the wherefore that you may have that's in your personal power. So allow yourself, the second one there, allow yourself permission to do things. Now, I don't mean be a rebel or radical, but if you're sat there thinking, this could work better, we could do this differently, I should be involved in it, don't wait. Volunteer. Get involved in things. You don't have to have positional or expert power to do that. And you have to build up confidence. And admittedly, confidence comes with some success. But building up confidence for yourself will be one of the big assets to flexing your personal power. There are a lot of people in senior positions that started in more junior positions that were just confident. They just knew that that was for them, even though they knew they needed to work hard at making usually the right decisions. And it starts with that confidence, that belief in yourself. The fourth one is make decisions. Make decisions. So if you work in an area that you've worked in for some time, I'm going to estimate that 8 out of 10 decisions you make will be right. Now, there are some cultures that will only focus on the 2 that you've got wrong, but that is something to break through with your own personal power and celebrate and reward you and others with the fact that 8 of those decisions are right. And personal power is also saying, I'm not going to worry about those 2. Somebody brings it up that I made those 2 mistakes, but I made 8 right ones. So if we make things, if we make decisions, we're going to get a lot of them right. And the more we make, the more confident we become, and the more we can assume responsibility. Another tip, another way of flexing that personal power is keep things simple. Keeping things simple will allow you to buy support from other people. Don't overcomplicate something. If you think that data needs to be collected, don't worry about an highfalutin digital solution. Just get a piece of white paper, a whiteboard, whatever it is. Just make the system great and then automate. So keep things simple. Eliminate stress. Now this is all inner self-belief. But the 6th one here about eliminating stress is, what is really the worst thing that's going to happen? If you embrace some change in amongst a significant change program, what's really going to go wrong? There's an awful lot of people supporting it. 7th one, don't moan about stuff that isn't working, what other people are doing. Get a grip, stop moaning about it, don't bleat about it, get on with it. It's very rewarding at the end of a day to go home or get in the car park or whatever and say, I didn't succumb to other people's negativity. The 8th one is the more you do things based on you're going to get more things right than not. The more you do things, the more you'll build up a history, an armory, as I've called it there, of success stories. That gives you more and more personal power. So the more you do these things, or start to do these things, the more that will build. And if you're not in a position of power, you haven't got a senior position or whatever, flexing personal power will give you the skills, the ability and the confidence to progress in the organisation as well. Okay, thank you very much.